The 482 visa, or TSS visa, is a temporary Australian work visa designed to fill skill gaps in the Australian labour market. It enables you to work full-time for an approved Australian employer, in a nominated position, which you are suitably qualified and experienced for. The Temporary Skill Shortage, TSS, 482 visa allows you to live and work in Australia on a temporary visa, for 1, 2, 3 or 4 years. As the 482 TSS visa applicant, you must have at least 2 years of full-time and relevant work experience in the past 5 years. You have the qualifications and/or work experience to meet the skill level requirement of your occupation. You need to demonstrate your English ability, unless exempt. You obtain licensing or registration, if compulsory in your occupation. You are not restricted by an age limit. You require police clearances. Can apply for a 482 TSS visa as the holder of a Bridging Visa A, Bridging Visa B and Bridging Visa C, provided you have not had a visa refused whilst on shore on a bridging visa. As a sponsor, your employer must hold Standard Business Sponsorship, SBS, approval, or be in the process of becoming an approved sponsor. Nominate an occupation on one of the 482 visa shortage lists. Meet caveats that apply to your occupation. A caveat may refer to a minimum company turnover, a minimum number of employees or a specific salary. Meet the labour market testing requirement, unless exempt. Pay the Skilling Australians Fund, SAF, levy when nominating you. The amount is based on company turnover and the number of years you'll be nominated on the 482. Pay you at least $53,900 plus super for a full-time 38-hour week, unless a higher amount is specified as a caveat. TSS visa occupation lists. Short-term skilled occupation list, SOL. You can be nominated for 1 or 2 years. You can apply for a further 1 or 2 year visa whilst on shore. You may be able to lodge third 482 visa offshore. You need to show that you are a genuine temporary entrant. This depends on the length of time in Australia, visas held, visa refusals and your likelihood to return home to your country of origin in the future. You need to score an overall 5.0 in the IELTS, or equivalent test, unless exempt. You pay a lower visa application charge than MLTSSL applicants. There is no pathway to permanent residency, unless you fit under the transitional, grandfathering arrangements. Medium and long-term strategic skills list, MLTSSL. You can be nominated for 1, 2, 3, or 4 years. You can apply for further 482 visas without limit. You need to score 5.0 in all parts of the IELTS, or equivalent test, unless exempt. You pay a higher visa application charge than SOL applicants. You will be eligible for permanent residency when the following applies. You have worked for the same sponsor for 3 years on a 482 visa. You have worked in the same occupation for the 3 years on the 482 visa. You hold a score of at least 6.0 in all parts of the IELTS, or equivalent test, unless exempt. You have been paid at least the salary on your nomination letter. You are under 45 years of age at the time of lodging your PR visa. If you held a 457 visa prior to your 482 visa, you may be eligible for permanent residency transitional, grandfathering arrangements. The role has the same eligibility requirements as the MLTSSL, apart from the fact that the sponsor and the nominated position must be in a regional postcode.